Hey guys, it's mcfixit here. We are working on another disc, guys. This is going to be a 3PO Stencil hotbed die. I'm going to show you all the tools, the supplies, the tricks, and the know-how on how to make this happen on a Viking Ranarok gold disc. This thing turned out really, really awesome, and I want to show you exactly how I did it. So I'm going to go ahead and go over your tools and the supplies. You're going to want a disc. Obviously, if you're going to make C3PO, you probably want a gold disc. And I did a little 3D rendering right there on Canva, and then I moved on into Cricut, and I went ahead and cut that Cricut on a vinyl. And so you have to have your design, and I did make it a sweet halo effect too. And you want to make sure it's the size of your disc, so go ahead and measure that before you even get started. And then we'll go ahead and move on. I'm using an Oracle 5160 white, and we also will be using some transfer paper. You can see that in the background, lots of paper towels. And I created this little 3D print on my left hand, and that thing just really helps me line up. We're going to use that electric burner. We'll be using a little butane torch to get some bubbles out. Lots of acetone to remove the stamp. You want to make sure you be careful with that. Also some Dawn dish soap and water. We're also going to be using iDye Poly Black and about 16 ounces of water and 1 packet of dye. I also have this old skillet back here that we will be using. I already poured the liquid in there from a previous die I just did. We're also going to use a heat gun, lots of gloves, a ruler is helpful, a Sharpie, some kind of cutting utensil, so an X-Acto knife, pair of scissors, and a pick and a scraper tool work really well just to get all this weeded correctly and taken care of. Next step is to go ahead and grab your vinyl, and with our vinyl we need to go ahead and weed this thing. So you're going to grab a weeding tool. Anything you want to be black, you're going to go ahead and weed right now. And now that you have everything weeded, we're going to go ahead and grab that transfer paper. I did put a circle around this from another disc, and also I put a line north and south just to help get it nice and squared up. And this will be a little off center for you. I do apologize. It needs to be centered for me. That is not trying to be mean, but the most important thing to get this correctly done on the disc, you're going to be right over top of it just to get that perfect lineup on the whole entire thing. So take your time. It may seem like I'm going real slow, but this is one of the most important steps on the whole thing. And scrape that down pretty nice and solid, and then we'll go ahead and start to remove the stamp. Make sure to wear gloves with acetone, and you can go ahead and turn on your skillet. I do it about 2 to 3, and I don't want to go much higher than that because you don't want it to burn. And then you're just going to take acetone and put it on a paper towel, wash it, clean it up real good, and then now it's time to apply the stencil to it. So we got to peel the stencil off of the original vinyl, and you're going to have to scrape pretty hard sometimes. I did put the another sheet behind it because I did cut some of it off. It just makes it quicker. And hopefully you don't have too many snags where it stays on there, or else you just keep scraping it. Try some different angles. About a 45-degree angle is what I found works pretty good at peeling this up. So just take your time. The goal is to get all of it up in one solid pool. And then we go ahead and start lining this thing up. It is really important you get it lined up good. That's why I built this little thing on my 3D printer. Put a little piece of wood behind it and just slowly pull that off at a 45-degree angle. And then we're ready to start removing all of the air bubbles, and then we'll use a heat gun on setting 1 to just kind of really help adhere the vinyl to it. If you don't do that, you do have some issues with it. So I really recommend a heat gun or at least some kind of hair dryer. And then we're going to go ahead and grab our hot bed and set it down on a table. This is obviously in my garage. Be careful. Use a butane torch to get any remaining air bubbles out. This is an important step. You do not want air bubbles. It will not make your project look as good. So go around it a couple of different times with this little butane torch just to pop all the air bubbles. And I don't know if I mentioned, you do not want your hotbed boiling. Just a little bit of smoke is all you need. Go ahead and set your disc down in. You see how I'm using 2 fingers on both sides and setting it down, and you can kind of see that black is a good thing in the center because it should eventually dye it all the way black. Go ahead and let that thing sit for a solid 10 minutes. Drum roll please, and here's the moment we've all been waiting for, pulling that disc up. And I like to let it kind of drip over the edge and use a paper towel to start cleaning it up. And this is your chance to make sure that everything looks how you want it to, or else you can put it back down in there. Be careful of baking it too long though. You can ruin it. But what we want to move to next is doing a final weeding. I do like to cover this so no dust and debris. You've seen some of my other videos. If not, make sure to go ahead and like and subscribe so you can watch all my other videos, which include house repairs and things like that. But we're going to go ahead and work on getting this final weeding done. And this final weeding is one of my favorite parts. It does take a few minutes to do, but you finally get to see what your disc look like. And so just enjoy. Okay, here we go. A final cleaning of the disc, and then the reveal happens. Make sure to clean your disc. Also, if it gets real sticky, you can use denatured alcohol. Sometimes that vinyl does get sticky on there. But man, that turned out sweet. I cannot wait to see this thing thrown. This will be a gift for our student ministry. We give a lot of disc away, and this will be one of the prizes for probably a closest to the pin. So thank you guys so much for watching. Appreciate you guys sticking with me through this whole thing. If you haven't done so yet, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment, do all that fun stuff. And I hope you have a great day.